Good afternoon once again. Today is Friday, May the 1st, 2020, and this is the English language summary to recap the daily press briefing of the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA. So first of all, today is Labor Day, or International Workers' Day, or May Day, so happy Labor Day. May Day or Labor Day is an internationally important holiday held to commemorate the hard work of those who labor for public benefit and development. So this year it has a special meaning because we here at CCSA would like to commemorate and congratulate labor in all sectors who work to do their part in fighting against COVID. So even when we work from home, our contribution to society is still essential, especially because when you stay home, you are contributing to our effort in overcoming the greatest threat to Thailand and to the world in terms of the COVID virus. Of course, for all foreign nationals in Thailand, from expats to labor, from foreign retirees to investors to language teachers, engineers, restaurant staff, all of you have contributed greatly to Thailand's growth. I hope that you have a pleasant holiday today, and we would like to thank you on behalf of the Thai people for your role in helping to fight the virus as well, for standing together with the Thai people through these trying times. And we understand that you may be having to temporarily be away from your loved ones during this situation. And of course, talking about labor, you would see in the news that COVID affects a lot of people in Thailand and around the world in terms of jobs, losing jobs as well. But here in Thailand, there have been measures to open up new jobs in the thousands in terms of the government sector, such as in the Government Savings Bank and the Department of Irrigation for those who have lost their jobs and would need jobs. So I'd like to move on to the reminder about the first phase of easing of restrictions, as the spokesperson mentioned, and which was outlined yesterday. Just to recap, the 6 types of businesses and venues which would reopen on May the 3rd, this Sunday. The decision of which was made based on strict health assessments, and you would have on a screen for you, for clarity, the 6 types of venues to be businesses to be reopened on May the 3rd. So we therefore must continue with the following of strict health measures and guidelines because we cannot afford to be complacent. We have done quite well so far, and one simple mistake of complacency could undo all of that. So we thank you for your understanding, your patience, and your cooperation. And as the spokesperson had mentioned, soon in the coming days, they will be releasing a guideline on the practical measures concerning the opening up of these businesses. So you have on screen the 6 types of businesses. I won't go through them again. They were announced already, but I will just highlight some issues of inquiry because when we announced it, we would have to notice that some of these venues were already open prior to the announcement, such as supermarkets or convenience stores. And they were open prior to these announcements because they are in the list of essential businesses for living, as you would know, of course, in terms of supermarkets and convenience stores. And in the cluster for sports and recreation, of course, the parks are open as well. So some of the inquiries received, I'd just like to perhaps explain it briefly in layman's terms. Perhaps in terms of the malls first, because we received some inquiry from the English language audience. So perhaps I'll explain it by explaining what's happening inside the mall and outside the malls, okay, department stores. So last week or today, if you go into a mall, of course, you would not be able to buy clothes or any of those other items, okay? And last week or until today, you would be able to go to these supermarkets in the mall, and there would be food stalls in the malls selling takeaway food. Okay, so on the 3rd of May, this would continue. You would, on the 3rd of May, of course, it will be continued. You will still be able to go to the supermarkets in the malls and buy food for takeaway in the malls, but not be able to buy items like clothes and other normal, regular shopping items. So that's for in the mall. Now, for outside the department stores or outside the malls, you on the 3rd of May, when some of the businesses are open outside the malls, meaning the stand-alone retail businesses announced in that group, when you visit those places, they would be open, but of course they would be following the various measures, the general guidelines announced, such as social distancing, not having queues or long lines, or in those businesses. Okay, so they may be open on the 3rd of May, but they will be following these strict rules. And also outside the malls or department stores, in the past, of course, you would be able to buy food, takeaway food in restaurants outside department stores, meaning standalone restaurants. But they'd only sell takeaway food. So from the 3rd of May onwards, you can actually sit in those restaurants, which are outside malls, standalone restaurants outside malls. You can actually sit and dine there. But of course, they would have to be following the strict rules announced, such as sitting, having distance in terms of sitting a bit far from each other, at least 1 meter from each other on the dining table, and other measures as well. So just to explain in terms of practical use of these, practical understanding of these measures, to hope that this helps. And of course, as the spokesperson mentioned, the sales of alcohol is still banned because, as per the order announced earlier, the existing measures, national and provincial, plus the nationwide ban, which continues, would make the ban on alcohol sales still be banned, ongoing until further notice. Yes. So moving on to the, I have a slide on contact numbers. Actually, yes, we show this from time to time, so you can have a point of contact for the English language audience. Here's an infographic in English version with the contact numbers of various agencies. Not only the Center for Disease Control of the Public Health Ministry, but other agencies like the Department of Consular Affairs of the Foreign Ministry as well, and AOT and the Tourist Police, for example, because we are aware of the difficulties faced by foreign nationals during these challenging times. So from time to time, we will be sharing these numbers for you on screen. And of course, please contact your respective embassies or consulates for any detailed inquiries regarding your own repatriation for your own nationals out of Thailand, or any other assistance which your embassies would be able to provide. Thank you. So for the general situation and number of cases, we have new confirmed cases totaling 6 for today, recorded today for the 1st of May. That's a very good number, lower than 10 once again. Note that the new confirmed cases, these 6, are from the active case finding method, as well as one case is from a person who had contact or visited a market in Thailand. So these 6 new confirmed cases are not from imported cases of persons returning from abroad. So this makes the cumulative cases for Thailand 2,960. And of this number, 91.8, or around almost 92%, have recovered or been discharged already. So that's a very good sign. Number of fatalities, 0, none for today, once again. But still, close contact with family members remain one of the primary sources of the fatalities and infections. So we should continue to take the extra precautions as announced. And we have around 26 provinces now in Thailand that have had no new cases of COVID-19 for the past 28 days. For the enforcement of curfew, the numbers are practically almost the same every day, around 400, 500, or 600 in terms of curfew violation. Today, the total is around 699. So we'd like everybody please to, of course, still be compliant to the measures announced, including the curfew. We've done very well so far. Please continue on with that. And to keep yourself and the public safe, please refrain from any activities which could breach or violate the curfew. Because together with our enforcement of the curfew, the police, military, and other authorities are on the lookout of any violations such as illegal activities, gambling, illegal sales and distribution of masks, for example. And these crackdowns are actually being carried out every day by our enforcement authorities. On the issue of Thai nationals' repatriation, today we have 2 repatriation flights for today from Singapore and Nepal. You can see the details on screen. And for tomorrow from Kazakhstan, the Netherlands, and UAE, Dubai. The flight from the Netherlands would bring back Thai nationals from countries around Europe. The flight from Nepal bringing back Thai nationals, including monks, pilgrims, and tourists as well. So to date, the government has assisted in bringing back a total of 3,381 Thai nationals repatriated from 23 countries. And some images from the activities of our embassies and consulates worldwide, providing support and necessary supplies, interacting, asking about the well-being, talking and conversing with the Thai community around the world. So on screen we have some images. First, the Royal Thai Embassy in Dakar, Senegal, holding a teleconference with the Thai community in Western Africa, including Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso, to provide moral support and receiving their inquiries and inputs and considering ways to improve their livelihood and stay in Western Africa. Meanwhile, the Royal Thai Consulate in Fukuoka, Japan, has reached out to the community there to provide medical supplies and other relevant information. And our brothers and sisters in Brazil, in South America, has also received similar support from the Royal Thai Embassy in Brasilia, in Brazil, including food and other necessities. So we reiterate that no matter how far you are away from home, the embassies are there to assist you. And we understand that the embassies and consulates also have a Facebook pages and official social media communication applications like Line accounts too. So most of the Thai people abroad are aware of this and contacting the embassies and consulates via these means as well. And of course, when necessary, they are working to secure repatriation flights for Thai nationals who wish to come home. As an additional point on the international side of things, the spokesperson mentions from time to time the situation in various countries, which we are monitoring and following. The World Health Organization actually has recently warned that the situation is not yet on the way down. There are over 20 countries around the world which have already been relaxing certain measures, but of course, in the general situation, the COVID is not yet on the way down, so to speak. On the previous days, we outlined to you the international cooperation in the ASEAN framework, the ASEAN meetings on COVID, and ASEAN meetings with the +3 countries. So we have an update on the ASEAN-US cooperation, the video conference meeting, which was held at the senior officials and the foreign ministers level on the 1st and the 23rd of April. This week, the ASEAN-US health experts and health ministers meeting have also held meetings. That was the 29th and 30th yesterday of April. So that's a total of 4 meetings in this framework to push forward the concrete collaboration. And other dialogue partners of ASEAN, such as Australia, have also expressed their interest to cooperate with ASEAN in responding to COVID. Because through these meetings, Thailand continues to reaffirm the important principles of maintaining the continuity of the global supply chain, the mutual assistance, for one another's nationals. That is very important, and we are learning from each other's experiences, each country's experiences, learning from the various responses and sharing ideas for collaboration, for immediate and long-term use. Some of the critical discussions included with the United States included the collaboration on treatment of vaccines through information sharing and updating each other on the global and domestic trials currently ongoing. The Foreign Minister of Thailand has underlined that the genesis of the problem, of course, is the pandemic itself. So there is an urgent need for collaboration internationally and to get to reach and achieve effective medicines and vaccines in due course. Another critical discussion, the second point, is the overcoming of obstacles for supply chain distribution, enhancing cooperation on innovation and digital economy to prepare better towards the post-COVID recovery stage. And thirdly, strengthening of the disease monitoring and control in the region and reinforcing the regional laboratory networks, which is led by, this initiative is led by Thailand. So, and both of these issues, strengthening the monitoring and control and reinforcing the network of labs, both of this, the United States has initiated discussions and is interested in supporting ASEAN on this. One issue in terms of general advice, practical advice, is precautions during travel in cars, in which the spokesperson had touched upon. Travel in cars, in vehicles, including precautions for traveling by taxis around the country, including motorcycle taxis, wherein the advice is, of course, not to share your helmets when riding the motorcycle taxis. That's used a lot in Thailand, of course, for short transportation, short distance transportation. So while it is true that the outbreak has put a heavy toll on every sector, and the measures put in place may have caused certain inconveniences to everybody, actually, it's also true that the efforts of Thailand that we have made so far has been possible because of your cooperation, the general public's cooperation, the foreign community, the English language community's cooperation. And of course, the enforcement has to be strict on measures ranging from quarantine to physical distancing and curfew. So in the meantime, we ask for your continued understanding and patience and cooperation. The other side which inspires us is the solidarity around the world. And of course, we hope that this trend and momentum will continue beyond these times from our cooperation. The good in us will prevail and we'll come out in a better place out of this situation. Our prayers, our good wishes go out to our friends across the world as well. So once again, we believe that we can fight off this COVID. Just be patient. This is probably almost the last curve already, we hope. Together we can fight COVID together. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a good afternoon. สวัสดีครับ